Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to Waxing Weird, the show where I talk with other VTubers and other creatives about paranormal ideas and other weird things. Joining me today is Valera. How are you doing today, Valera?
Hello. Hi. Hello, Mora. I am doing well. It's good to be here. It's good to be here in the studio. It's nice. It's roomy. I'm loving it here.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have not come up with this is just, I guess, the Moon Studio for right now. A name for it, but yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, and so it's Valera Moonbeam, correct?
That
Correct?
is correct. That is
Correct.
my name.
Awesome, awesome. Valera, can you tell the viewers and listeners a little bit about you? Some lore, maybe like I don't know where you stream to. But yeah, anything like that.
I absolutely can give you that. Well,
Sweet.
Matt, newfound friends, it is lovely to be here and to meet you all. My name is Valera Moonbeam. I am your local lunar witch with the love of things magically malicious and horrifically delightful. I'm not originally from this plane of existence. I am from a different realm in and of itself. But due to a ritual gone wrong, I was sent here instead, and I have been tasked with helping people and growing my magic to light people's path and light their way, and show people that there is beauty within the dark and horrific and unknown, and nothing to be scared of or to shun out, because it is a valid part of our existence and a valid part of all our beings. Balance is something that's a part of all of us, light and dark, and I am here to talk about that. I also am the owner and the sole witch in charge of the magical manor with my little buddy Patchy. This little
Oh,
pumpkin guy who sticks with me.
oh, Patchy. I love that so much. I think I've seen Patchy
Would you
on your
like me
streams.
to send you a picture of Patchy?
Yes, I would love for you to send me a picture of Patchy, and I'll put it up on stream as well, so
I will.
everybody can see Patchy. I
I'll
if
go and drop it in the open chat
in the open chat.
in
Okay,
the VC. Here.
in the VC. Gotcha, gotcha. Sweet. I love Patchy so much.
He is so precious. I adore him.
I love that so much. I'm gonna open it up, and then we are going to put this on in the chat. I'm gonna do it as a browser thing just so we can see.
Yeah, you could look at the little lad.
Look at the little
But
lad.
he is such a little lad. I adore him so very
So
much.
cute. Patchy's so cute. I
That's my boy.
I love him so much. He's just the sweetest. That's so
He
cute.
is.
I love Patchy so much. But yeah, there's Patchy. Um, so where do you and Patchy stream, Valera?
So I stream over on I along with Pajim Little TTS Buddy.
Hmm.
We stream over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Valera the Dragon.
Sweet, awesome, awesome. That I love the idea of bringing balance. I love your entire like lore. Um, yeah, awesome. Um, Valera, trying to go down to brass tacks about why we're here. Are
Right.
you a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between?
I am a believer, but I leave room for doubt, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So I believe hardcore, but I don't believe everything that comes across the table as a theory, of
a
course.
100%.
Because sometimes people like to, how people be.
Oh yeah, like I have always said in this show that like we're not 100% behind every weird conspiracy theory that you bring to the
Mhm,
table. Um,
mhm.
100%, like anybody brings to the table, like I'm always going to be like sort of skeptical to those things, but like to like the Bigfoot, aliens, ghost, I'm kind of
Oh
a
yes.
yeah, the strange that doesn't harm. Yeah, 100%. I'm all about it.
Mhm. Oh, agreed. Absolutely. I am one who's always been one who's always believed because from a very young age, I've always been under the thought and just have always had this thought and perception of there's no way with as wild and wide and expanse as life is, not saying that only just to humans, but just life in general and energy, there's
100%.
no way we can be the only ones.
Yeah.
There's no way we can, as quote humans, be the only ones. Oh no 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 no. That's small minded thinking. There's
Uh,
more out there.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. 100%. And you said you started out this belief in your youth, right? Um, that brings me to my like next question of like, what is your personal paranormal past or your triple P? As I like to say, I guess I'm saying that now. That was just weird. That was a spur of the moment thing.
No,
Um,
that was fire. I love that.
oh,
Oh,
thanks.
Triple P, that was so good.
Yeah, your triple P, your personal paranormal past. Yeah.
That was really
What is
good.
yours?
Oh my goodness, I have a lot of experiences. I've seen things. I've come across. Oh, this is such a wide experience.
Mm.
I've always, from a young age, I've seen. Like there are moments I've seen stuff. Like I'll see things. I'll be like, what's that? Like for a good example, when I was younger, I used to live across the street from a cornfield. I feel like a lot of people have had that experience more than I ever realized until I became an adult. But
Yeah.
one of the things I've noticed is that my I would just sit there and be out my window. My window faced the cornfield, so
Oh, that's
I would just
cool.
sit there sometimes at night because I could never sleep. I've been a person who's never been able to sleep. Insomnia has just followed me from a young age.
Oh, same here. I
Um,
feel that
you
on a spiritual level.
right? Right? I was younger and my parents would yell at me all the time. You're just not trying to sleep. You're not trying hard enough. And I'm laying there slathered in chamomile lotion. I have the softest jazz music playing. The room smells of eucalyptus and lavender. And I've counted sheep and I'm at number 600. And sleep still does not find me.
And I'm number 600. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Oh,
I definitely feel that on a spiritual level. It's hard for me to
honestly,
get to
it's.
sleep. Hey, but once I'm asleep, I'm a hard sleeper. Hard sleeper.
Ah, no, I can wake you up, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can. It's just like I just like just pass out like whenever I can get to sleep, but it takes me forever to get there. Um, but yeah. Oh, continue. Go on. Um,
Mhm.
so
But
cornfield.
yes, I would just sit there and stare at my window at the moon.
Mm,
I always have since a young age. I've always loved the moon. I've always looked at the moon. I would play outside at night. No, I had no business doing this, but I lived in the country, so it was very much a hey. But who's gonna get me from down the street? My
y-
neighbor from 10 minutes away? No, I'm good.
yeah, yeah.
So I would climb out my window at night to play in my front yard. Sometimes things would scare me, yes, but some nights I would just look and across the street. You know, like how I would say, for example, like dog's eyes look when you like use like a flash on them and they have that like illuminated type look.
Yeah, yeah.
Some nights I would see that out in the cornfield and I would see a few looking at me, and I was just like, are those like coyotes? Because we did have coyotes as the thing out there. It's
Yeah,
country,
in the country.
but but I would always be worrisome of it. But then one time, I looked out my window. It was raining. I was like, I'm not gonna go out. It was just a pair of eyes just stare at me, and I was just like, just outside. And it was like, that's it's nothing. Went tried to sleep, woke back up again. It's about an hour later, still there,
Oh gosh.
like directly at my window. And I was like, So young Lyra, baby Lyra, I'd like to say, would um I would just get up and I would just be like, I'm gonna time it. So every like hour, I set my little alarm clock. I had the smallest digital alarm clock known to man, I feel like. And I would just set it for an hour and I would put it under my pillow because it's late and I don't want to wake up my parents in the other room. So every time I hear it, I hit it and then I go look, it was still there. And
Oh
it
my
was really
gosh.
weird. I never figured it out. I never saw it again after that night, but it always gave me a weird, eerie chill down my spine.
Huh.
And it was just really odd to me, in all honesty.
That is odd. That's definitely odd. Do you remember? Because like this is, I think the difference between I don't know what other animal besides human. I think it's like probably some sort of ape or bear or like something like that. But everybody else, like your dogs, your cats, like have a yellow eye
Mhm.
shine.
Yeah, this is
Whenever
like a yellowish, whitish. It was bright.
it was bright, okay, yellowish, whitish. Okay, sweet. So it could be like something like that. I think we're the only ones with red eye shine. So if you would have saw red eye
Mhm.
shine, that's so creepy. That's creepier than anything. Um,
Right? That's just a whole entire person.
that's a whole entire person or something else that's human like. Um, but yeah, that's creepy in of itself, and it just
Very.
and so it stared at you. It
It
stared
just it was
like
just
at the
like
window.
looking like at the window itself. I never figured out what it was. I never went
Hmm.
to look and see who it was. The next day I had school. So
Yeah.
you can imagine I'm in the car and I'm looking over there at the field. I'm looking like, what was it? What was it? What is it? Never
Yeah.
ever I never got that answer. I never figured out what it was. So
What
it
do
was a
you
very odd experience for me.
what do you think it was? Like, what do you like? Using whatever imagination you'd like to, or in reality, whichever way you want to go. But what do you think it was, Valera?
If I had a thought, maybe a little skinwalker-ish, you know?
Hmm.
Maybe I'm thinking I'm getting that feeling. Um, Paranormal like occurrences were not unheard of in that town
Okay.
because I mean it's just, you know, if I could say it like this, in a normal city nowadays, it's more people than forest. But
Hmm.
out there, it's more forest and wilderness than people.
Hmm.
So if that's any context, and I lived across from a big cornfield that if you walked from like you walked across the street, started at the cornfield, and walked all the way to like the very far tree line in the back, it would take you like 2 hours.
Oh gosh.
It was such a far walk. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh. And another thing that like I like, I'm gonna harp on because like I love this idea. It's your like chills that you experienced. I feel like you don't get those unless there's something like you feel as though you're in danger in some way. Like your body has a natural
Yeah.
response, and you we have to listen to our bodies whenever they tell us things are bad. Um, and so I
Mm-hmm.
think that is enough. Like, oh, this was dangerous in some way. You didn't know consciously how, but you knew your body knew this is not good. And just like we've seen that in like a lot of like cases in the paranormal. It's like, oh,
Oh
with
yeah.
Bigfoot cases, they're like, oh, I just got this feeling. Or like with ghosts, I got this feeling. It's a very common thing, and like of dread almost, right? And like fear. But yeah, that's something that I think is interesting as well. But like Skinwalker is what you would
Mm-hmm.
think, something like that.
I'm thinking that or something in the something like that or more cryptid. Like it's something in between those two,
Mm-hmm.
because then it was just it's such a it's such a significant feeling for a very young person to experience.
Yeah, most
And
definitely.
me, with all of my innocence, was just like, huh? And that was the first like big moment I have encountered something that I was like, oh, this is something that is beyond my realm of perception.
Yeah.
I didn't say it like that in the kid language. I was just like, this is
Yeah.
something I don't get.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Oh my gosh. I get that too. Like the idea of like we only can use like what language we have at the time, but now that we've like developed a language for it, we're like, yeah. I still say like I even if I have like the language for it now, I'm still like, no, that shit wasn't right like at all.
yeah.
Like um but yeah, like I think that's such a like interesting story. Also the cornfield makes me think of Signs. Have you seen that movie? um
I have seen a movie.
yes, it makes me think of Signs. Like as soon as you said cornfield, I was like Valera had a Signs moment. And
I really did at my very young age.
Yeah, I had a signs moment, but instead of like the leg that turns and goes into the cornfield, it was like this pair of eyes that's staring back at you. Oof. So you've had your signs moment of your life. Um,
I've had a science moment. I've had a couple science moments, honestly, I must say.
oh yeah.
There's one current thing that's happening in my house. It's
Hmm.
been this way in my current residence for oh, oh, almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in December I've lived here.
Holy crap.
Um, there is, I want to say, there's not that I believe it's attached to the house
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. I don't think it's attached to any other occupants in the house, and not myself. But there are times because my setup is located in my basement. It's the quietest place in my home,
Heck
and
yeah.
it is quite comfy down here. I got my desk. I got a little carton next to me for my snacks. I kick my shoes off and kick back, relax, hat on backwards, time to party. You know how it goes.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. oh my gosh.
So a thing that I've noticed now is whenever I'm down here, if I am home alone,
Mm-hmm.
I will hear walking upstairs, and I hear walking constantly. It's between like I'm right under the master bedroom and master bathroom. I hear walking from like the master bathroom to the through the master bedroom into the hallway, but
Oh
it never
gosh.
goes downstairs. And it's been like that. And I've not been the one that's only experienced it, but Mama Dragon, my mother, has also experienced that as well. And
Oh
will ask me,
goodness.
"Hey, like, are you walking around up here?" And I'm like, no, no, I'm not. I'm downstairs." And she's also experienced it. She's heard it walking in the hallway back and forth like it's pacing.
Oh gosh. That is oh gosh, that gives me chills down my spine.
Yeah,
Just because it's like I don't know. I it could be because you hear running, right?
it's like
Like walking.
I've only heard running once,
Okay.
and that was me hearing it run like down the hall really fast. And I
Hmm.
was like, what is that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, mind you, I hear everything's loud down here. It's a basement, so the less items you have, the less the sound has stuff to absorb into.
Uh huh.
So while up there, it sounds like it doesn't sound loud. Down here, it is very loud and very, very, very echoey.
Oh gosh.
So it's that's the only time I've ever heard run, but it's usually walking like at a steady pace,
Yeah.
and it is very odd because you can hear when it stops. You hear those footsteps come to like a bum bum just to a stop, and it is so eerie.
Oh gosh. That like I don't know. That is what do you have you done any like research on the house or like seeing if there was any
Yeah, did research.
yeah.
Looked into the people who used to live here because we did meet them before. During the process of getting this residence.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. We looked into them. Nothing weird happened here. We asked them, "Has anything happened here? Any deaths, any murders? Any stuff like that?" They
Yeah,
said no.
yeah.
It's always been that it was always the mother, the father, and their like 5 kids
Oh
that live
gosh.
here. I, Trust me, when I saw that, I was like, "How 5 kids live in this house? Ain't no way,
Yeah.
ain't no way,
hey, I feel that
ain't no,
with like four
ain't no
kids living
stage of
in
the way."
a in a house too.
Right?
It's nuts. Oof.
I'm just like 5 kids, and then they got like what 2 bedrooms to share between them. No, 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 no. Y'all
100%.
had to redo that.
100%. Yeah. Oof. I've been there as like it was like my I think my sister like had a room to herself and then um I think me and my brother had a room and then yeah they just and luckily there was a baby like luckily quote unquote luckily there was a baby on the way so it's just like oh yeah this is a great place to have a baby and then have the baby somewhere and it's like that's going in the
Hmm.
parents room not in our room
No,
uh
that is going right over there, not anywhere over here. Point blank. Period.
yeah yeah for sure but so nothing too out of the ordinary ordinary I cannot say that word ordinary yeah ordinary
I got you. I
yeah
got you.
yeah yeah
Ordinary.
yeah yeah so nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to research about it really
No, nothing out of the ordinary at all. I don't know where this came from. I don't know if it's like
Do y'all have
etched.
any?
No, my mother has had her experiences with seeing things in the past and like
Uh-huh.
coming having paranormal experiences. My father has not. He is very much a non-believer. He is a heavy non-believer.
Yeah.
My mother very much is the opposite. She very much is a believer, like a hardcore believer. I'm a believer, of course. I just leave a
100%.
lot of room for I leave the room for doubt.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like my question would be then, does your dad see anything or no?
Nah, he doesn't see anything.
I think that that is a good I I don't know. It kind of like goes into my idea, and this is a borrowed idea from other people that are in the paranormal field, so I'm not taking credit for this idea. But it's the idea of that like it's like us that create the things or let the things manifest to us, you know? So if you like
Mm-hmm.
don't believe it, you're not going like nothing's going to happen to you, right? But if you like believe in it in a little bit or like whatever, then things will manifest as it goes. But if you really
Oh yeah.
believe it, which I think that I'm at the point in my life where I'm really believing it that like nothing happens to me
Mm-hmm.
either, like nothing happens to me because it's like you want it too bad. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
I do. And it's like I need to have a little bit more skepticism, but it's like no, I just want to get excited by something weird happening to me, you know? Like
Right. Right.
like abduct me aliens, you know? Like no, not really. Please don't. No. No. Pause.
Aliens, aliens listening to this call right now from interstellar space. I just want to let you know this is a whole entire joke. I'm
Yeah,
always
that's a
just kidding.
whole entire joke.
This is
Um
slash JK.
yeah, the slash JK. Um what is it? Slash what's the other one? There's another slash. I always forget the slashes because I didn't like grow up. I mean, that's like prime my internet because I'm just an old person, I guess. I'm 31. Just so everybody knows
Huh.
that. But yes, just as a millennial, yeah, like that is sort of in my language barrier, I guess. But yeah, like
Yeah, tone indicators.
yeah, tone indicators. But yeah, so um, so y'all experience it, you and your mom experience it, but your dad doesn't. That sort of like
Mhm.
goes into like my theory about the paranormal. I guess like believability is like what manifests. Like if we
Mhm.
believe in it, it becomes real. It's very much like the Coco theory, in my opinion. Is what I
Mhm.
like to call it because it's funny because it's like if you've seen the movie Coco,
I
it's like
have. I love Coco.
I love Coco. I cry during Coco. Um, I like my little nephew. He's not really my nephew, but he's like his like I'm like really good friends with his family. And yeah, just always treated him like a nephew. We
Hmm.
watched it together, and I cannot tell you that I did not bawl. And I was just like looking at him, and I was like, whenever Remember Me comes on, oh yeah, there's not a
Uh,
dry eye in that house if I'm watching it with him.
oh
Um,
no, it's instant tears. The tears
and
are there. They are very there.
but it's like that. Like the theory is like, oh, if you believe in these things, then they stay, they manifest. They're like, and especially with collective conscious, like the collective believes in these things, then yeah, of course they're going to be a thing that manifest. You know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So yeah, just on the nature of reality. Sorry to go on a tangent. Um,
No. You're okay. You're okay.
but
Okay.
yeah. What was I gonna say? So you've experienced stuff at your house in general.
Hmm.
Have so you have ghost and maybe cryptid, which if I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, I think you're my first person who's seen like something cryptid wise. So that's
Really?
yeah, so that's cool because
Oh
most
wow.
most of the stuff is like astral projection, or they've
Mm.
seen a ghost, they've seen a spirit. They've seen an entity like Hat Man or something like that, or a shadow person, something like that.
Mhm.
But I think you're the first one that's probably seen a cryptid. I think. Maybe. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure. Which is so cool. So now we have our first cryptid guest. Cryptid
oh my
sighting
God.
guest. So yeah.
I saw them. I saw them with my little young peepers, no glasses and all.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so awesome. Do you have any not to like say, hey, you got anything else, but like, hey, do you have
No,
anything
no, no,
any
no.
other paranormal past?
Um, besides there's a lot of the current stuff. There's things I've experienced over the years. Like I could go on for hours and hours about the things I've seen and experienced. A good one I want to mention is
Okay.
when I started around the time I turned 18, when I started really um as I like to call I was like it's like the stage of a butterfly basically. It was like
Okay.
my caterpillar stage into me coming into my own and like
100%.
being a person in my own person and fearlessly being that person instead of trying to make myself what others wanted me to be or
Hmm.
expected me to be. So one of those things that really helped me was I have always in my life been attracted to witchcraft and magic and things like that. I mean,
Oh,
at a young
same.
age, I was reading fantasy books and they would put in there like, "How do you make moon water recipes?" And I was like, "Ooh, I want to
Yeah.
do that too." I would have my
Same,
little
same.
candle. And my parents, very, very much, religious parents were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm doing this thing that this book told me." And they're thinking, "Oh, that's so innocent and precious." And did not realize that that would just stick with me for so long. I did. They have for business reading those. For context, it was a House of Night series. All right, I'm gonna say it. I don't know
Okay,
if you've ever
okay.
read House of Night.
I have not.
It's
I've not.
it is a vampire witch magic themed novel. So I'm gonna say it does not get everything with witchcraft correct at
Okay.
all,
Okay.
but for me, being like 7, that was like my bread. That was my Olive Garden right there. That was my unlimited breadsticks. Keep giving it to me. I was having a ball. I was like, I want to do these rituals and these spells. I was so excited about it. And from that, being like the start of it, as I got older, I started to become more interested and more connected with nature. And then I moved away from the country, sadly, to a town that was still relatively small, semi-country-ish, but it stuck with me for years. And I
Hmm.
started this love started to grow for it more and more. And I want to say when I turned 18, when I was 17, I started toying with the idea. I'd done a lot of research, and when I was 18, I bought my first tarot deck.
Heck
And I
yeah.
was like so happy, and that's what's opened me up to learning a lot and growing a lot as a person. But
Hmm.
a big thing about it was um, me experiencing a lot more events and a lot more experiences.
Yeah.
I started to lucid dream a lot more.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
that is an experience, I will say. Um, Signs come through when you end up in those situations with lucid dreaming
Yeah, for
and
sure.
sometimes astral projection. But a weird thing that's happened to me is, you know how everyone says like you have that dream that you went to work, worked your shift, came home, slept, and then you wake up and you now gotta go to work.
100%. Yeah.
That is me, but to the point where like they're real believable conversations.
Hmm.
To where like, good example, I dreamt I woke up, I got up, I went through my day, I was chilling, relaxing, and everything looked normal. Everything looked fine until I was like, no, I gotta get ready to go to work and I can't find my keys. Couldn't find my car keys, right, in a normal spot. And
Yeah.
then I started to notice things. I'm just like, something don't seem right. It was supposed to rain today. Why is it sunny? Or like,
Huh.
for another example, my dog is. I have a little white dog.
Hmm.
My dog was not white. My dog was very much a brown color, and I was like, "You're not my dog."
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was like, "You're not my dog." Hold on. So I'm like walking around, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm dreaming," and I was so aware of it, but it felt so real. To if I hadn't noticed it, I don't know what would have happened. But I was aware of it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm dreaming."
Oh my gosh.
Woke up, and I was like 5 in the morning. and I just fallen asleep at like 3 a.m.
Oh
So
gosh.
very weird, very odd experiences.
So that just brings up a good question. Do you think your insomnia helps you with lucid dreaming?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be doing something. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it helps.
Yeah, it's just like one of your like uh, just not to use this word but to use this word like gifts is to have insomnia so you can like lucid dream, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Yeah, if that makes
No,
sense,
that makes perfect sense.
like it's like a blessing and a curse, you know. um
Yes, very much so.
but also I was going to comment on your like the book series that you were reading. I'm a firm
Hmm.
believer in whatever you practice, as long as the intention is what you are using, whatever intention you're
Hmm.
using, it will happen.
Hmm.
So I would say don't discredit little Valera from whatever they were
Little
doing, because like they were,
baby Lyra.
yeah, little baby Lyra. I would say, yeah, that like you were doing magic from a young age, and that's cool. um I'm jealous really of that, because like
Aw.
it's like super cool that you got to experiment in that way and you got to express yourself in that way. That's so cool.
Oh,
um
thank you.
yeah,
I thought it was like so kiddie-ish, but you're right. It's such an innocent memory for me, and it holds
yeah,
like such a, it's so sweet to me.
yeah, it's
It's like
so
one of those
sweet.
like strawberry candies you get from a grandma that you
Oh
just can't
yeah.
buy nowhere. It's
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure. I actually love those candies. I knew exactly what you were about to say before you even said that. I was like, yeah, those candies, that gives me that sensation. Ooh,
Oh,
that
let's
was
go
a
to the
weird
same
thing.
brain cell. Let's get it.
Yeah,
Let's
same brain
get it.
cell. Collective conscious, we're tapping in right now. Um
We are tapping in hardcore.
oh my gosh. But yeah, so um I'm just moving us along. Like my
You're
segues,
good.
perfect. My segues are that's one of my biggest favorite things is my segues. We're gonna play two icebreaker games. One that I explained to you at first. We're gonna start with that one. It is called Phases of Belief, and I really would like phases of belief. And I'm probably for the podcast part am going to make like a little sound bit that's like phases of belief, to make it
Ooh, that would be good.
cool.
That would be hard.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. But yeah, it'll go right here. That's where it'll go. But yes, we're gonna play Phases of Belief. I explained it before, but I'm gonna explain it to our audience today. So, Phases of Belief are is a game that I like to play with all of the guests. And what Phases of Belief is to get where they track on their belief of whatever phenomenon that I have listed. And so it mirrors the phases of the moon, and I'm gonna pop up a picture of the phases of the moon. Boom. So
Oh, the moon, how gorgeous you are.
the moon, how gorgeous. The full moon means I fully believe it. The new moon, which means you just get like darkness in the sky, that means I don't believe it. Waxing means I'm kind of more so on the belief side, and waning means I kind of am on the
Mhm.
disbelief side. So,
Mm.
knowing that, I have a list of exactly 14 ideas or phenomenon that I'm going to go down, and you're either going to say full, waxing, waning, or new. All right, Valera, are you ready?
Exciting. I'm very ready. I am so excited.
Okay, ghost.
Oh, full moon.
Full, okay. Bigfoot.
We'll go with full.
Okay. Alrighty, aliens.
Full. Can
Alrighty.
I double full that one? Can I
Yeah,
double moon that?
yeah, double moon. Tatooine moon. No, it's suns. Tatooine. Those are Tatooine suns. Tatooine suns. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a new one, I guess. Double full on the aliens. All right. Um,
Absolutely.
Fae, like the Fae.
Oh, full.
Alrighty. Haunted dolls.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go with full on that one, and I have a really good reason as to why.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that one.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
Aliens have been to Earth.
I gotta go with full on that one. At this point, yes, they
Okay,
have to have, honestly.
100%. All right, curses.
I'm a Tatooine moon that one actually.
Tatooine moon. Aliens have come to. Okay, alrighty, sweet. Um, curses. Are you Tatooine mooning? Or are you?
Curses, yes.
Oh, curses.
Curses is the Tatooine moon.
Okay, curses get the Tatooine moon. Okay, sweet, sweet. Mothman.
Oh yes,
Uh,
full moon, 100%.
Fool. Okay, doppelgangers.
I'm gonna go with waxing on that one.
Okay, waxing. Chupacabra.
Mm, I'm gonna also go with waxing on that one.
Alrighty. Tarot cards.
Oh, so double moon all the way. I have my tarot decks right here to the left of me. Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, sweet. Um,
Sliding all my chips in at the casino right now.
oh gosh. Okay. Haunted places.
Oh, full moon, absolutely.
All right. We live in a simulation.
I'm gonna go with waxing on that one.
All right, waxing. And finally, psychic powers.
Oh, full moon.
Alrighty. Well, that was Phases of Belief with Valera. Valera, I have questions. So
Mhm.
haunted dolls. What do you got on haunted dolls?
Okay, so years ago, when I was like 15, I had
Hmm.
a friend who said, and I quote, she's like, "Oh, I got some old stuff from my grandma. I already should have known that this was about to be, an experience." Because I'm like, why do you just have all your grandma's old dolls she gave you just piled up in your room? Why are they all facing your bed? Like, hey, have your room how you want it. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna stop you, but don't say, "Oh, these are from my grandma. They might be cursed." Don't add the "they might be cursed"
they
into
might
the
be.
same sentence.
Yeah, that's whenever I say I'm calling my mom. Beep 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 beep. Mom, can you come pick me up? There are drugs here.
You become the biggest op ever. Just, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
police. Yeah, they're drinking.
yeah.
Got
I
the fireball. Lock them up.
Yeah, lock them up. And it's just they don't have any drugs or anything. It's just the cursed stuff. It's like, nah, I gotta go, mom. I gotta get out of here. Like the drugs are okay. The drugs is why I'm staying. The cursed objects, I'm out. I'm out as a kid. Now I'm like in. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah.
back then I was out. They're messing
I
with
was
the
just
Ouija board.
like,
I'm out.
oh no, my friend pulled out a Ouija board one night, and I was like, "Look, I love you. I love you. I want you to know that I love you so much, girl. But like on a Friday night, like really? Why are we no?"
We've got a full
No,
Saturday to go. You
we
know?
have a full weekend to go. We have school Monday, and not only that, but like uh no, not in the room with the creepy stuff with the creepy dolls.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I right now am that person to my friends, I guess. I am trying to always bring, can I buy a Ouija board? And they're like, no, you can't bring that anywhere near. I have a different opinion about Ouija boards now than I did back then, but I am that friend that's like pulling it out on a Friday night. Um, so I don't I don't sympathize, I guess. I'm more like, yeah, 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 it's something that we need to do, you know? But yeah, so haunted, cursed dolls.
Yeah, haunted cursed dolls. She was like, I don't know if they're haunted or cursed. She's like, I don't know. I just like my grandma had them, and then the grandpa died in the house, in the room where the dolls were, and like a bunch of weird stuff happened to her grandma. I can't remember all of it, but it was very much a series of very paranormal and very unfortunate events. And I sat there like, okay. And
Yeah,
the dolls had this weird aura about them. Like, you're looking at some, you're like, there's something very unsettling about you, but I cannot put my finger on it at all. But it's there, and it is very, very much prevalent. That was the feeling. It wasn't like that gut feeling you get, like I want to say, like in your solar plexus, really,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that chakra where you're like, you know what? Actually, I need to leave immediately. But it was like
100%.
ooh, it's like you feel like awkward and uncomfy in your skin type feeling, like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was that kind of feeling.
That's how I get with any sort of porcelain doll. And I think that's just because it's like the porcelain doll. Not necessarily there's anything
Yeah,
creepy. It's just like who made these things for kids, you know? Who decided that was a
yeah.
good idea, you know? Like,
Also, porcelain dolls are very. I would not give porcelain to a kid. I'm gonna be so honest. Kids are very destructive. I,
yeah.
I, if you gave her like, oh, this porcelain doll's named Clementine. Clementine's about to get shattered.
Yeah, Clementine's about to get shattered on another kid's skull because they're angry. They get take one temper tantrum and they're using it as a mace, you know?
Legit, legit.
And you got whatever doll you was it Clementine? Did you say Clementine? Um
Clementine.
yeah, you have Clementine pieces in people's face because this kid got angry
Legit.
once. Um
All because, little Jackson wouldn't let little Timmy swing on the swings, and now Clementine has become a part of
become
it.
an implement of war. Um
Honestly.
uh,
Honestly.
oh my gosh. But yeah, yeah. So like, generally they freak me out. Um, okay, so haunted dolls, and then let's see, which one do I want to hit up first? Oh, like doppelgangers and chupacabra just being on waxing. Just
Mhm.
just you're not 100%. You're more
Yeah,
believing, but like, eh,
but there's a little something there. I'm like,
mm,
I'm looking at a little side eye some bits on the chupacabra. Also, my chupacabra knowledge is not as vast as others. But
yeah,
the things
yeah.
I've heard some things. I'm like, I don't know about that one. Or the other end of like that sounds believable, but like bits and pieces don't make sense with the chupacabra. When it
100%.
comes to doppelgangers, though, um, I'm iffy on it because some people are just have a very, I hate to say, familiar face.
Yes.
A good bit of people do. So some people I've seen in like, especially online and like Insta videos, TikToks, and just YouTube in general, they're like, "This is my doppelganger," and I'm like, "Okay, that looks like y'all are
Like
close.
cousins.
Like y'all are, yeah, like it looks like y'all are related. It doesn't look like that's your doppelganger."
100%.
Like when recently I saw a video of a guy and a girl on video chat, and this guy was like, "Oh, like you're my girlfriend, you need to come home." And the girl's boyfriend was like, "No, no, no, no. This is, I think her name was like Lisa." And it's like,
Hmm.
"No, no, no, that's Carrie." And he was like, "No, no, 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 that's Lisa." And then it turns out that the girl had a twin sister that she was just estranged from,
Oh gosh.
and apparently it's just uncanny that they were on a video call because she found her sister that way.
That's so cool. Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen that one
So cool.
recently. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with that? That was so cool because that's such a like weird. Do you have a sister? It's like, yeah. Oh my gosh, that like, and it freaked, it freaked the other guy out. He got on the phone, like, yeah, he was like, "What is she doing with you?" And it's just like,
Exactly.
that's my girlfriend. It's like, no, that's my girlfriend. Yeah, they were just like went from 100 to zero real quick. Um,
Right?
it was crazy. Yeah, I love that video. Yeah, 100%. That's a good pull for a doppelganger. Like
Right?
idea. You could have a twin. You never know. Um,
Legit. Like I feel like so many people have a lot of people have had kids, and also there's also the thing too. A couple of years ago, if you remember, there's a movie Tom Hanks was like starred in, and it was based on a true story. Let me look at real quick.
okay.
Tom Hanks, what's it
Tom
called?
Hanks, Thomas Hanks.
Thomas Hanks. I think it's called. What is it called? It's not called Saving Mr. Banks. That ain't it.
That
It
ain't
was a
it.
movie where I don't think it is, but I think it was a movie about based on a true story of a man who was a sperm donor who donated sperm, and it something
Oh,
happened, and like a bunch of people. He was like the father to like a couple hundred kids.
I thought it was
It
Vince
was
Vaughn,
really.
the delivery
Is it
man.
Vince?
Yeah,
I
delivery
didn't
man.
even know a delivery man. Thank you.
Yeah, the delivery man, because his name is David Wozniak. I
Yeah,
remember that because it
Vince
was
Vaughn. That's it.
yeah, David Wozniak. Is that what his character's name is? Do I get bonus points for that? For
Yeah.
no. Dang, yeah, I just remember that name because I was like, David Wozniak is a weird name. But
It's
anyway,
very specific.
it's very specific. Um, but yeah, that
But
movie
yeah,
is
that one.
you just never know. You just never know. Um, uh,
Because cases like that have actually happened, I'm just like, there's no way that some of these people in this world can, especially because like, that's the only one that's reported. Who knows of what other situations have happened?
yeah,
And I think it would be really, I just think it's very possible that things like that have happened to where it's like, oh, like you and I are related. You and I look related. You might be my doppelganger when in all honesty, they're probably your cousin or
yeah.
somebody that looks very familiar to you.
Or your like sibling that was estranged. Yeah, 100%. Okay, yeah, heck yeah, awesome. It now that was really good. Like, I love doing this game because I get to see where people are at. The next game is going to like a little bit more finely tune that, I guess, in what you're
Exciting.
interested in more so than what you're believe in, right? This is more interest. So this is my bracket challenge. We are well past March Madness, but this is my bracket of I think yeah, just a bracket of weirdness, I guess. But let me pull it up on the screen, and if you I can't see
Ooh.
it, let me pull it up. Alrighty, here is the bracket. We start out
Ooh.
with we'll start out with our first round, and our first round will be the Flatwoods Monster versus the Loch Ness Monster. Two monsters going head to head.
Ooh. Oh, dang. Oh, this is a good pick. Ooh.
Which one? Also, what are
Hmm.
the parameters? If they're your interest, you can do interest. You can do um, believability. You can do what you want, but what is it for you? What do you
Um,
want it to be?
I want it to be interest. I'll do this interest because I believe a lot of these.
Okay, sweet. We can do interest. What interests
I'm
you the
very
most?
interested.
Flatwoods
Oh, the
monster or Loch Ness monster?
Flatwoods monster, actually.
Flatwoods. We'll do Flatwoods. Also, Flatwoods is, if anybody does not know, yes, Mothman is like legit and always up there for me as like entity creature. Flatwoods monster is my favorite entity, I believe, because there's not that much known. And I
Oh,
just want to
heck
know
yeah, let's
more.
go.
And also, I just love the design of the original drawing. It looks so cool. Anyway,
Right?
um, alrighty, Chupacabra versus Jackalope. The two weirder entities on this
Mm.
board.
You know what? Because it was just brought up in conversation. I'm gonna say Chupacabra because my knowledge on the Chupacabra is not like it's not like the knowledge I have on other topics. So I'm very interested in learning more.
Alrighty, sweet. Alright, Hatman versus Bigfoot.
Ah, this is hard.
This one's tough.
This is really tough. You knew what you was doing when you made this bracket. You know what you were doing.
I do.
You're like, I'm gonna put these hard choices with each other and see what
See
happens.
what happens early on in the round. Yeah. I was like,
Let's see. I'm gonna go with I'm more interested in the Hat Man actually,
okay, the
because
Hatman.
I I've heard stuff about Bigfoot and the phenomenon, and learned stuff about Bigfoot since I was a little kid. So
Awesome. Awesome. So Hatman beats Bigfoot. That's good. Annabelle the doll versus the Greys. Like gray aliens. The Greys. The big eyed, almond eyed.
the big almond eye.
The big almond eyes. Just
Billy, Billy Eilish has to remake that song "Ocean Eyes" into "Almond Eyes" for the Grays. Just
100%.
saying.
100%. Uh, a VTuber named Paranorma, and she does like she is. I'm a VTuber and a paranormal investigator. Like I'm both, right? She is a
Heck yeah.
paranormal, like her thing is that she's a paranormal investigator VTuber. So that's like her
Nice.
like thing, but she sings. She does a lot of like singing. She's really good, really fantastic.
Oh, nice.
But she needs to do that because it would be paranormal and like a cover of a song. So I'm just throwing that out there. I just thought of that. Like that'd be cool. Like ocean eyes
That's
but
really
almond
cool.
eyes. Yeah.
Almond eyes.
Alrighty, Annabelle versus the Greys.
Oh, see, I love me some Annabelle. I love me some Annabelle, of course, but I'm gonna have to go with the Grays because I've nerded about Annabelle a lot.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Alrighty.
I would say
Oh, go
when
ahead.
James Wan put that movie out,
Oh yeah. 100%.
I was all over it. Me and Mama Dragon watched that movie so much, and I was just like, Mama Dragon, what if we went to the Ed and Lorraine Museum? And she was like, oh, sweetie, I would love to. And I'm like, you what? I didn't think you were gonna say yes.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's cool. I think Annabelle's in Zach Baggins's museum now in Vegas, right? Is that where it's...
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
how many people do you want that have touched the glass when it says specifically not to?
Yeah, yeah, a whole bunch. A whole bunch. The same number of people that like have his quote unquote Dybbuk box. Like that they've touched it too. Like what was it? Was it Post Malone that touched it or whatever in the news? I forget. But yeah,
It was Post Malone. I think it was,
I believe it
honestly.
was. I think so. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, people touch the things all the time in his museum. The Ghost Bros, the good old Ghost Bros. Um, Indrid Cold or La Llorona.
Oh, I would have to go with Valera.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Let's see. Ghost or goblins? This is good. I did not know that this is the way it hit, so
Ooh, ooh, such. Ooh, you pulling out a hard one here. Hmm.
this one's pretty tough. And also, I was like not ready for the alliteration at all, because I was like, I flipped some things around earlier, and
Yeah,
this landed here, so that's cool.
it's really good. It makes you think. I'm gonna go with goblins. I'd love to learn more about goblins.
Good old goblins. Highly recommend the what's it called? The Hopkinsville Goblin case. Um,
Ooh.
like if you just Google Hopkinsville Goblin, that case is so cool. That's also up for grabs in my like in the list that I have. I'd
Ooh,
love to talk
let me
about it.
bookmark that in my head so I can think
Ask
of
for
that
it.
for next time.
Yeah, for next time for sure. All right, Faye or the Dog Man.
Dogman, actually. I don't know a thing about Dogman, I think.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of. I think the some people would say like, oh, they're werewolves, but werewolves are like men who change into people who change into wolves,
Mhm.
whereas like Dogman
Right.
is just an anthropomorphic sort of dog-like creature that doesn't. There's no transformation. There's just more so an anthropomorphic big dog, like basically the
Mhm.
Bigfoot of dogs, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, because a lot of people see that entity, and a lot of people think like, it's a werewolf, but it's just like Dogman to differentiate it, I guess. Um, all right, Yeti versus Mothman.
Mothman. I love Mothman. Mothman.
Mothman. Alrighty, now the tough parts. All right, we're getting tougher and tougher. Flatwoods Monster versus Chupacabra.
Uh, mm, Ooh, it's a hard one.
This is a hard one.
Flatwood monster. Flatwoods. Give me the flatwoods.
Alrighty, alrighty. Hatman versus the Greys.
Think about them almond eyes.
Think about them almond eyes.
uh, mm,
Are the like wide rimmed fedora hat?
I'm gonna have Hatman. Hatman,
Hatman.
I gotta go with my first line of that one, or I'm gonna keep going.
All right, La Llorona or goblins?
La Llorona.
Alrighty. Dogman or Mothman?
Both men.
Both
Uh,
men.
Mothman.
Mothman. Alrighty, now the
Sorry,
toughest
Dogman.
the toughest semifinals. Flatwoods Monster versus Hatman.
This is tougher than watching the Lakers and the Celtics in the final. I've only watched basketball games religiously once in my life, and that was it. That was the
That
most.
was the game.
That was the most intense time. That was the games. That was it.
That was
I
way
was like,
back.
I'm interested in this. I'm gonna look at this, and I was like, dang.
Dang. I love basketball so much.
Nice. Growing up, I've actually been more of a football kind of person. Actually, I was raised with football.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. I don't keep up with it like I used to, in all honesty. My brain has been filled with the VTuber stuff.
Yeah, VTube stuff takes up most of my life. Like outside, I guess. Paranormal stuff too. Like just yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'd have to go with Hatman.
Hatman. Okay. Alrighty. Mothman or La Llorona?
Uh, La Llorona. I'm gonna have to go with her. I'm gonna have to go with her on this one.
Alrighty. And finally, for the finals, La Llorona or Hatman?
Uh, dang. Oh. Ooh, this is such a hard one.
This is a toughie.
This is really a toughie.
Are you more interested in
Mm,
Hatman or more interested in La Llorona?
that, that's the real question because the
That's the
interest
real
is
question.
very there for them both.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with La Llorona on this one.
All right, and La Llorona wins your interest board bracket. So La Llorona is the champion. So we're gonna have to either do La Llorona next time, or we're gonna have to do Hopkinsville Goblin case next
Ab-
time for sure,
Absolutely.
and we'll figure that out um, on your next time as well.
Absolutely. I would. Whenever you want to have me, I'm enjoying the vibes. The vibes here are immaculate.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. Alrighty, now we are going to talk about our topic of the day. So let's start out with our story. So I don't know about you, But in the summer, Valera, I love to go to have, and it seems like you, as a person who's like raised in the country, probably would like this. Lake days are a big thing
Hmm.
for me. I love the like lake days because they're calm and you just get out on the water and you don't have to go into crowded pools or stuff like that. Yeah, the water's a little mucky
Nice.
sometimes, like yucky and gross and stuff like that, but it's always like cool, refreshing, and just hanging out with friends is great.
Oh,
But
agreed. Absolutely agree.
yeah, for sure. Um, one of that gets on the topic of lakes. One of the largest lakes in Georgia is known for its stunning view, which attracts millions of visitors each year. However, more than being a picturesque location, the lake is gaining fame for its dark history of tragedy and mystery that has haunted the region for decades now. Lake Lanier, one of the deadliest in the U.S. Since its formation, 500 people have died there, nearly 200 since 1994. And I think that number is like steadily climbing. About 11 million visitors descend upon its shores every year, about the same number as visit the Louvre. Just so you know, that's an interesting fact. But the lake's popularity doesn't explain the high number of fatalities. Other lakes around the area see higher or equal visitors and don't come close to the number of deaths experienced. For example, Lake Allatoona, 40 miles to the west of Lake Lanier, receives close to the same number of visitors every year, but only has one third of the deaths, which is still crazy. It's still a lot of deaths. Um, Lake Lanier's horrible history, though, can be traced back to long before it became a lake. So Forsyth County, which sits on the western side of Georgia, was once part of the Cherokee Nation. In the 1830s, the U.S. government removed and eradicated most of its people from what would be one of the southeasternmost origins of the Trail of Tears. A second expulsion occurred 80 years later, this time involving a different community. And I just want to say, before I even start at that, trigger warning for racial violence and racial, like a lot of white supremacy, a lot of colonization, just in general. Right.
It's a very hot, heavy topic in relation to the very unfortunate history of how a lot of places have come to be, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the South.
100%. 100%. So if you're not comfortable with that, I appreciate you for coming. If you'll come back and say like 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20, and come back and then we'll rejoin the show for more cool things. But I completely understand. All right. Thank you so much to our viewers, too, for just bearing with us. A second expulsion occurred 80 years later, this time involving a different community. So, Oscarville was formed in the late 1800s during the Reconstruction era and was a thriving black community full of carpenters, blacksmiths, and bricklayers, with farming as the top trade. Some 1,100 black people owned land and operated businesses in Forsyth County alone. As Lisa Crosby, a Georgia history teacher and a relative of somebody who lived in Oscarville, states in her interview with the publication 11 Alive. Also, let me recognize our sources for today as well, just so I am putting those up there for people to go back to. Um, one of those sources is from oxfordamerican.org. It's entitled The Haunting of Lake Lanier by Anjali Injeti. And then another one is from outlookindia.com, and author unknown. And then The Hidden History of Oscarville, the secret reason Forsyth County was cleansed of black residents years before Lake Lanier was built. And that's by Dr. Tay B. And then 11alive.com, and author Latasha Givens, authors Latasha Givens, Michaela Richards, Der Schneider Bray. Yeah, so those are my sources for today. I just wanted to stop and give those. So, in Lisa Crosby's interview in 11 Alive, they had a miraculous farming growth here, while the rest of the state was really struggling. So, that was the case until about 1912. That fall, on September 9th, an 18-year-old white woman named May Crow was sexually assaulted and murdered close to Brown's Bridge on the banks of the Chattahoochee River, in a village in the village of Oscarville. The crimes were pinned on four young black people who happened to live nearby. They were 16-year-old Ernest Knox, his 8-year-old cousin Oscar Daniel, his 18-year-old cousin Oscar Daniel, 22-year-old Trussie Jane Daniel, Oscar's sister, and 24-year-old Robert Big Rob Edwards. So they were pinned on that. The day after Edwards' arrest, a white mob invaded his cell, and he was lynched. Crow's death and Edwards' lynching begat more violence. When nightfall came, terror began to reign over Oscarville. White mobs, known as the Night Riders, went door to door with torches and guns, burning down black churches and businesses and demanding all of the residents of Forsyth to vacate Forsyth County immediately. The residents quickly abandoned their land, their crops, their homes, and most of their belongings. And the white people picked over and pillaged what remained. Then, in October, a jury took little over an hour to convict Ernest Knox and Oscar Daniel for Crow's killing. Trussie Daniels' charges were dismissed. 5,000 people gathered to watch the two teenage boys be hanged. And it is widely believed that Edwards, Knox, and Daniel were innocent of that crime. After the destruction in the late 1950s, the Buford Dam was built, and Lake Lanier was formed by the Army Corps of Engineers, flooding the entire area, covering up Oscarville and swallowing most of its history. And this also included graves, tombstones, everything. They did not vacate the area. Now, when it comes
Very
to...
sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Very sad. Very sad to hear about.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Super sad. Super... a very tragic and horrible story. That they just, like, ran these people out.
It's one of those things where when you, as a black person, when we look at our history, we see that there are trends of that is common. The plotting by white people to take down and dismantle black spaces and black communities, while unfortunately was a thing back then, because it could have, in all honesty, the trend back then was very much oh, poor little, you got Carter over here, white boy Carter, who probably did this to this girl, but they gotta put him in jail. We want to get these people out, so let's blame it on them. And it's a very sad thing. You see that sadly throughout a lot of places in history. You see that with so many undocumented and documented black people, and it's very sad. It's very sad in the sense of too, they were just waiting for that one thing to just go ahead and use it as fuel and as the reason to justify what they did. But in all honesty, we're planning to do it for a long time. And you see that with a lot of places, especially around the time Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were very prevalent in, speaking out. You have that a lot even before that with the creation of Black Wall Street in Oklahoma to very large predominant black communities down through the South, starting from Mississippi all the way up to places like Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very sad trend that is sadly a part of history.
100%.
For them to just take the area and then be like, oh, well, we can't have anybody finding this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of it all.
For sure. 100%. And I think that's just the way of white supremacy, and the way of colonialism, and the way of those two things, like, hand in hand. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's very tragic and very, very frustrating.
It is very much, and it's frustrating to still see remnants of that just a new modern day version of it in so many spaces too, especially online spaces, and it's very, very exhausting in all honesty because it's like at this point, has there not been enough history for us to learn? You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. Um, hmm. Uh, Now to when it comes to recent deaths, drownings or motor vehicle or motor vessel accidents are the usual culprits. There's no upward or downward trend when it comes to this, and no way to predict year after year how many victims the reservoir will claim. One explanation for the higher number of fatalities lies beneath the surface. Um, Debris and rubble from before the lake's construction, as well as everything from sunken boats to lawn chairs or fishing wire, create a treacherous underwater obstacle course. This, coupled with the lake's low visibility, makes rescue operations dangerous. There have also been speculations that over 700 souls have perished in its depths since its inception, leading to a chilling belief that the lake is cursed and haunted. The perpetrators vary. Some blame spirits from the graves of the Corps of Engineers, that graves that the Corps of Engineers never relocated in 1956. Others blame the phantoms of the 27 victims who have died over the years at the lake, but whose bodies were never successfully removed or recovered. One of the most infamous tales haunting Lake Lanier is that of the Lady of the Lake. In 1958, two friends, Delia Mae Parker Young and Susie Roberts, departed to dance. After getting gas and skipping out on paying for it, they skidded off a bridge while crossing the lake and disappeared. The following
Oh
year,
no.
yeah, the following year, a fisherman came across a decomposed, unidentified body floating near one of the bridges. And it wasn't until 1990, over 3 decades later, that the officials discovered a 1950s Ford sedan with remains belonging to Roberts, which meant that the body found way back in 1959 must have belonged to her friend Parker Young. Locals didn't need a forensic analysis to know this. They had seen Parker Young themselves wearing the blue dress she had borrowed that night from Roberts, wandering near the bridge. With her handless arms, so the story goes, she snatches unsuspecting lakegoers and drags them to the bottom. However, despite the haunting legends and rising death toll, Lake Lanier remains a popular destination, drawing millions each year. The question of whether it is genuinely cursed or merely a tragic coincidence remains unanswered, leaving more and more visitors curious about the haunted waters. But we don't know if the hauntings or curses are true or what is going on supernaturally in this location. But we do know, as Dr. Taby from Medium.com says, the truth about what happened in Forsyth County in 1912 is painful and speaks to the most significant issue of racial cleansing through the South during that period. But the fact that a town like Oscarville is now hidden beneath a recreational lake is a reminder that the history is not always what it seems. Some stories go untold, and some tragedies are forgotten, but the truth remains and should serve as a reminder of the systemic racism and violence that has plagued the country for centuries, and the importance of remembering and acknowledging the past to build a better future. Yeah, and so there we have it, Lake Lanier. Um, Also, there's a series of Lake Lanier. It's on Amazon, I believe. It's a I don't know if you have to pay for it. I don't know. I didn't look that up, but it's called Lanier, and it goes over the what happened, and it's like a series, and it doesn't mix words with how violent it is and how violent it was, and it's created by black artist, um,
Oh,
to
that's good.
to
I
get that
really like that a lot.
message across. That we aren't far removed from that.
Oh yeah, when you think of the timeline, honestly, you think of some parents where sorry, I was my lotion bottle if you heard that.
Oh no, you're good.
My hands are dry.
You're good.
I
You're
was just
good.
sitting here you're talking and I was like, wow. Wow, and I rubbed my hands together. I'm like, oh wow, damn, my hands are dry.
Yeah. Definitely
But
feel that.
when you think of the timeline, we are very much not far from it. We're not far from that past at all. Everyone likes to
Hmm.
say, "Oh, it's so long ago," when most people who say that have grandparents who were alive during that time
Yeah, 100%.
and still alive to tell the stories. I have relatives who are alive, who have relatives, and their parents themselves were a part of it, who experienced it,
Hmm.
and it is very, very, you know, it's an experience, I must say, that is hard for others to understand because it's very a unique experience of this pain and this experience being so fresh
Hmm.
still for a lot of people, and trying to get out of the mindset that has been passed down from them that you can't prosper, you can't do this, you can't do this because of the system,
Hmm.
and trying to adapt and change into the current version of that system. And it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard, especially with the bridging a gap between all generations too.
100%.
So it's one of those things where hearing about this and seeing people, black directors and black producers, putting out their content and producing content about this, they don't shy away from it. They're like,
100%.
hey, you want to know about this? This is A, B, and C of what happened here. And I personally love that. I love it so much.
100%. Well, I just want to
Mhm.
thank you for picking this topic, because it's like
Yeah.
one of the things like I like that the like paranormal community. The paranormal community is very white.
Oh yes.
It's very white, and we have to recognize that and
Mhm.
say that the experience of the paranormal is not just that of whiteness and Christendom as
Mhm.
well. Like it's not just white and Christian.
Oh
And
yeah. There's way more to it.
yeah,
Way more to that.
yeah, 100%. And I appreciate you picking this topic. Can I ask
Mhm.
now?
Yes.
Um, what? Well, two things. So, what do
Okay.
you think about all of this as in regards to? Is there in regards to the paranormal?
Hmm.
Is something weird going on, or is this
Oh
like
yeah.
is this a curse? Is this
Oh yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
they went to two different people groups. They went to the indigenous folks, and removed them from the land, and then they removed black people from the land as well.
Mhm.
So like that's double whammy.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I feel like indigenous people understand as a group pains, um, the pains of that, the pains of colonialism,
mhm.
hardcore. They understand that very well. So do I believe that the indigenous people that did pass away there, did their spirits stay accursed? Absolutely. Same thing with the black lives that were lost there. Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's one of those things where you know I believe it fully because I've heard stories too of like old plantations that were burnt down, or like there was like revolts and stuff there,
Mhm.
or those that died there. Sadly, the slaves that did die there were, you know, very much still inhabiting that land because it's like, hey, I want to watch you come down because if I can't prosper in the physical realm, I'm gonna make it to where you can't. And I think that's a
100%.
form of vengeance and retribution in a way for those spirits. So yeah, in this case, absolutely. I feel like they're trying. That's a message that people aren't understanding, and also
Mhm.
it's weird that people keep going to Lake Lanier when Lake Lanier is so deadly and think it won't happen to me. The
Yeah.
girls that died there, and the guy you said who how he found the body, and
Yeah.
not that, but all the other lives that were like, and the graves that were there too prior. It's just like this area is just not, it's just not it. Y'all need to not go here. Leave the
Yeah.
area alone. If there's a message being sent, y'all need to know the message.
Uh,
Honestly.
100%. 100%. And I just think it's wild that like deaths are gonna happen every year. That's the guarantee. We don't know how many, but somebody's gonna die at this lake, and that is a good telltale sign of like don't go here. Like let's skip out. Let's go to the literal lake that is to the west. That's probably a more natural lake than this. Um, then go to this lake. Like there's other options and other things to do. Like I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it. If we look at the news later on during this summer, there's going to be a death at Lake Lanier.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
and
Yeah.
that'll be wild. Just because like it happens all the time. You can watch. There's a YouTube documentary about Lake Lanier. I think, like told by I believe told by black artist.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just like that is like like their information is out there now a lot more so because I've seen a lot of like we're not like I'm not the first to cover Lake Lanier. There's a lot of people
Mhm.
that cover Lake Lanier, and it's like
Absolutely.
people still go into this lake. Like okay, but yeah, it's just like
Mhm.
you're being warned multiple times. Like maybe you shouldn't. So,
Uh, it's very wild, and it's one of those things where it's like I think at a young age we were all taught, hey, if I tell you not to touch the stove, you touch the stove, you got burned. What happened? What happened, baby? My
100%.
hand hurt. Exactly. So at this point, when you hear in the news, hey, don't go to Lake Lanier. Hey, Lake Lanier, not safe. There's always the mysterious, hey, don't get in the water. The water is not safe. If someone's telling you to get in the water, you go the opposite direction. And what do people still do? Get in the water.
Yeah, 100%. Ooh,
It is
because
very,
like
very wild.
ghosts aside, spirits aside, curses aside, it's still a dangerous lake because of all the stuff
Mhm.
that's down there, you know? Um,
Exactly.
and again, that was more man-made stuff that's like literally pollution that's going down there, and it's like that's
Right.
you have the odds are not in your favor going to this lake. But yeah, okay. A second question:
Mhm. Go ahead.
why did you pick this topic?
All right, so I've been waiting for this one. So I
Okay,
got two, I got two reasons.
okay, go ahead.
One, I've always wanted to learn more about Lake Lanier.
Hmm.
Lake Lanier is very interesting to me. And like some of the stories that I've heard in the news, I'm just like, what?
Hmm.
That is odd. That makes no sense. So I'm very interested to learn more. One, two, the funny reason. Georgia is planning to open a water park in Lake Lanier this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
And they're planning to open it this summer. And I saw that and I was just like, that is the worst idea ever. You want a water park with Lake Lanier, and they're planning to source the water from Lake Lanier itself, which I'm like, that is a horrible idea. I don't
Horrible.
think you have enough filters for that. I think there's some health code violations in that statement in and of itself
100%.
because it's oh shit.
Yeah, that's awful. I like saw that somewhere, but I completely forgot about that whenever I was writing this. But that is literally nuts. That's crazy. Like
It's it's so wild, and I'm just like,
it's
do we just not listen?
it's just very tone deaf too. It's like, oh yeah, yeah. Like people, like even if you're just not caring about the history, if you care about like the people that die every year, and you're like, oh, that's a good idea to like make something. You're like tone deaf city. Like you are not. You don't. You're not reading the room, sis. Like at all. Like the room is not being read. Like
The room is not being read at all. It is there's nothing.
again, and like I think that's like money bags. Like people just thinking with money and not with
Oh,
the safety. It'll be shut down in like
absolutely.
5 years for sure. Um,
Oh, I give it less.
oh yeah, yeah. I just say within that because I think like their stubbornness will last them a couple of years. 100%. Just because of like that's just how like business operations work. Ooh, it's very frustrating. That is very frustrating. I completely forgot about
Hmm.
that. Awesome, awesome. Alrighty. So I have a big question, my big
Okay.
paranormal question of the day. Thank you so much
I'm ready.
for picking the topic of Lake Lanier and
Hmm.
putting that for everybody to listen to.
Of course.
It is a very sensitive topic, and I appreciate you for bringing it.
Of
Um,
course. Of course. I handle sensitive topics really well. It's
yeah.
something I've learned to do, and I know with the topic of racial topics, it can be really difficult.
Mhm.
But I got you. Don't even
Yeah,
trip. I'm
yeah.
happy to talk about it with you.
Alrighty, thank you so much.
Of
Um,
course.
so this is a random paranormal question that I ask. I just pull it from thin air, and pull it from paranormal history. This is the one that I would like to use with you.
Mhm.
So back in um I'm going to have to Google when this date was because I know the question I want to ask you, but I
Yeah, it's always
forgot.
good to double check. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, because I got all the dates mixed up in my head right now. Um, so let's see. 1962. In 1962, all right,
Mhm.
a man by the name of Joe Simonton Farmer. Joe Simonton, he was a farmer. Sorry, Joe Simonton. He was a farmer. His wife was away at work.
Mhm.
He recorded saying that a like a saucer landed in his front yard, and two entities wanted to exchange water. Wanted some water for, I guess, their engine. And so he went inside, got them some water, and in exchange, they gave him pancakes. What seemed like pancakes, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, so my question is, would you eat the pancakes?
You know what? No, I would not.
Okay, okay,
I would not. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep them. I'm
okay.
gonna do is I'm gonna keep them and I'm gonna look at them. I'm gonna smell them. I'm gonna observe them. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna look it over. I'm gonna get a smell on them. Does it smell like a normal flapjack? Does it have the smell of that buttery taste? Does
Mm-hmm.
it smell like there's butter in there? I would look at them, observe them, kind of touch them, press on them a bit, see the texture, and then I would, let those be. Because what if, like, it may look like a pancake, it may smell like a pancake, it may have the springiness of a pancake. Doesn't mean that what ingredients are in there are good for human consumption.
100%. 100%.
So what I would do is I would, I'd say, I would let those be. And if anybody asked, I'd be like, well, I got these, from a random shop
Mm-hmm.
across town. Took the old Oldsmobile out, went on a little drive while the missus was away.
Oh gosh. Awesome. So I'll tell you what Joe Simonton did. He did eat one of them.
Oh,
I think he took a bite of one of them and said that they lacked sugar and salt.
oh,
So they were very bland. Um, the consistency was not there of a pancake. But he did take a bite of one, and then there's one in a museum somewhere, like an aeronautics museum. I don't know that 100% off the bat, but yeah. So that's what he would do. So yeah, he ate it. I would eat it.
wow.
I would eat both of them. I no hesitation. Is it going to give me special powers? Maybe. Is it going to kill me? I
Maybe.
highly doubt it. I highly doubt. I
Oh,
just gave them water. So like taking something, am I going is are they actually fairies and am I going to be stuck in fairyland forever? Possibly.
that's true. Are you gonna
Possibly.
start seeing? Are you gonna start tasting tasting colors and seeing shapes? That's the real question.
Maybe. Here's hoping for that. 100%. Also, hello Sleepy Mooney and
Hi, Mooney.
yeah, and then yeah, um that is a squirrel. That is a squirrel.
It's a very cute emote. I love that emote so much.
I love that emote so much too.
Honestly, the emotes you get from hype trains on Twitch are just some of them. I'm like, but some of them are really good. They're really
Yeah.
good. I know there's like a Pride Angel Wings one, and
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
cute.
saying, I'm trying to get that one day. I want that in my Rolodex of emotes.
It,
Honestly,
honestly, 100%. Um, Also, if you check out my emotes, I think you can use all those now. Like um, I got
let's see what you
Jackalopes,
got.
Flatwoods, Bigfoot. I don't know if I changed
Bigfoot.
permissions on
Oh,
them. I've got the Fresno Nightcrawler as well.
oh,
Uh,
cute. Wait, hold up. Nightcrawler kind of cute.
y-
Nightcrawler kind of cute.
yeah. And then what else? Oh yeah, and then I got me thinking, me sweating. That's me. The me sweating one is very much how I am on a regular basis. Just like Panic at the Disco,
Yeah.
as I say. Um, but yeah. So anyway, enough about my emotes. Sorry. So
No, but your
do
emotes
you?
are cute. I love hearing about them.
Oh, thanks. Alrighty. Now's the time. For plugs, Valera. Do you have any plugs that you'd like to do? Do you have a stream coming up? Do you have an important stream coming up, like a donathon, or do you have just a regular stream coming up? That's perfectly fine. Do you have anything going on, or a
Ooh.
link that you would like to share, or a place to donate? Anything and everything is good.
Sure. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's been a lovely time, Amora. Thank you for having me here.
Oh,
This has been
thank you.
wonderful. This has been a very magical time. I hope we get to cross paths and do something together in the studio again, honestly.
100%. And I will definitely have you back for sure.
Absolutely. Exciting, exciting. Um, as for me, again, my name is Valera Moonbeam. I have been your local lunar witch, and you can usually find me on Twitch. That is my main place of streaming. I'm starting to get a more concrete stream schedule. So I personally usually stream Tuesdays through Saturdays. Now that's with the exception of if I have a collab in between.
Mhm.
I do go to my friends' channels. I travel about as a realm hopping witch, if you will. So
100%.
I like to go to my friends' channels. But most of the time you can see me on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays over on twitch.tv/Valera Moonbeam. You
Heck
can also
yeah.
find me on Twitter at Valera VTuber, and you can find me on TikTok at Valera VT. And if you type in Valera Dragon on YouTube, you can find my VOD channels. You can see a lot of my old stuff, some fun stuff from October. That was my still to date is my biggest streaming month. I think I streamed every day without any fail almost that month.
Heck yeah.
Uh, but besides that, as for things coming up, I personally do not have anything coming up.
Mhm.
However, is it okay if I mention something that's going on with one of my friends?
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
for sure. 100%.
Yay. Um, my friend, my friend Rosie Mallow is currently doing a donathon, so they are able to go to Off the Expo, is with their VTuber group and called Kids VT, and they're trying
Heck
to
yeah.
raise money. They've hit a couple goals already, but I want to see them get there because it's really cool to see VTubers, especially ones you know on the indie scale, get to do these
100%.
things at conventions. I don't know if you've gotten to see, but it's like so cool, and I would love to see her and her group get there. So her name is Rosie Mallow VT. She's an English Spanish speaking slots VTuber, and her slot
Heck
is
yeah.
going on till I think 9 p.m. CST, 10 p.m. EST. I
Okay.
think I'm cooking with these time zones, y'all. I think
Cooking. Cooking. Time zones are the hardest part about being a VTuber, I think, or any collabs.
honestly are.
It's the craziest thing. I'm so glad that like we were the same because I was like, oh, that makes it life so easy. I
Oh
like
no, I get that.
I've had PST and I'm like, what time is that here? And it's
Oh
just
my
like, oh,
goodness.
that's in LA. Okay, that's like LA's time. Okay, that's two
That's
hours
LA
before.
time.
That's 2 hours before, so it's 5:38 there. That's nuts. Um, but yeah, I'm getting good at this.
You are. Honestly, being a VTuber makes you get used to time zones and where makes you work on your time management skills. Honestly, and makes you work on
Honestly,
organization.
100%. That's on my resume. Like that's on my resume. Time management from VTubing. That's it.
Oh my goodness. But besides that, I get that. I've been in collabs too where it's like, oh, I don't know the time zone, or it's like a really like big time gap, and I'm sitting here like it's midnight, but I'm vibing.
Oh
But it's
gosh.
nice. It's been a way I've gotten to meet a lot of people, honestly, in my
Yeah, for
10 months
sure.
of VTubing.
Oh, awesome. So you've just been doing this 10
Mhm.
months. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, 10 months. I started technically the end of June, so I could hit affiliate before my big debut because this is my official design. I used to have my little pre-debut design.
Oh, okay. Heck
But
yeah.
yeah,
Well, you do like you're
uh,
such a good streamer like for just 10 months. Like you're phenomenal.
oh,
Like
thank you.
I was just like, "Oh yeah, you've been doing this for like years probably." Like and like that's crazy. But yeah, that's so cool. I thought yeah,
Oh,
I
good.
would have expected like, "Oh yeah, I've been doing this since like pandemic, like before pandemic." Like that's what I thought. And then that's
No,
crazy.
no, I've had my Twitter since then, but I turned into a VTuber Twitter, and I, I
Heck yeah.
I'm a happy VTuber. I'm a happy VTuber.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
It's been fun. It's a fun journey. I will say, there are moments where it makes you confront the things about yourself, like your inner critic and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be a lot. But let me tell you, once you get it, and once you'll be okay. You will
100%.
so be okay. You
Yeah.
will be chilling. You'll be like, oh, that was tough, but like I'm okay now. Hold up, I'm good. Let
Yeah.
me get to the next level.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, go follow Valera. They on all of their social media platforms, and then one more time with your friend's name again. Sorry, I couldn't.
Rosie Mallow. Rosie
Rosie
Mallow.
Mello, Rosie Mello VT as well. Um, you can follow them. All of their social media. I mean, all of their social medias and VODs. Um,
Yeah.
and thank you so much, Valera, for being on Waxing Weird. It's been a pleasure. I loved having you as a guest. But yeah,
Absolutely.
for everybody else out there, I'm so glad you came to the stream and audio only listeners listening to this. Thank you so much for listening. Um, as far as um, the goodbye, I hope that you are you keep it weird, you keep it spooky, you keep it safe, and you always keep it thoughtful and be open-minded about things. So stay weird, stay spooky, and yeah. So bye
Bye.
everybody.
Take care of yourselves, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, the stinger is so cute.